Everyone, welcome to Cloud Institution again. So today in this video, we're going to see how are we going to, define default versus custom variable files. So the difference between, we also going to see that, so what is the difference between the default and custom var files, which means that in variable files, and also we're going to see that, so how to assign these two files and how are we going to get the result out of it. Okay, so let's get dive into the demo. Okay, so as you can see here, we have EC2 instance creation. This video is there, right? So what are we going to do is that, so we are going to see, so this kind of a very simple kind of a concept. And so what are we going to do is that, we are going to do a Terraform plan, and we have a variables is assigned AMA ID and instance type. As you can see in the variables, we didn't have kind of a, so default variables assigned for this one. Okay, so there is no default variables assigned. So in this case, what you have to do is that so we need to have, we can just pass this pass the variables in multiple ways, right? So we can also pass through command line, and we can pass through TFVars files, and there are various different ways. So in this session we are going to see the difference between the default, the default Terraform TFVar files versus a custom TFVar files. Okay, so what is default TFVar files? For example, if you can do Terraform plan, if you do Terraform plan with this one. Okay, so it's asking me for a AMA ID and then instance type. Okay, so if I can give AMA ID instance type, is going to be refresh data. Okay, it's telling that nothing, no matching, no configuration changes, because we already deployed a few things. I'm going to do Terraform destroy, and it's um sorry, DSTROY. Okay, so I'm going to do Terraform destroy, and for the Terraform destroy, as we have already seen that, we don't need any kind of a variables to be passed in for this, because it's going to destroy whatever the default the default variables which has already been taken, and which has been already used, right? So now, okay, still destroying. Now what are we going to do is that, we are going to go to Terraform TFVars. So we already have a couple of variables has been assigned. Okay, so AMA ID and instance name, but it's been commented out, right? So we are going to enable this AMA ID and the instance type, so once this destroy is completed, and then we are going to see how is that Terraform will pick up this pick up this variables. Okay, so now, yeah, as you can see, so without enabling it, if I can run, sorry, so if you can run Terraform plan, okay, it's asking me for a variables. Okay, so now if you can go and enable this variables, if you do Terraform plan now, okay, it's not going to ask me any variables, right? So the reason being, it's not, so because this it's taking all the variables from this particular file. If you comment, so just to verify, if you comment out one of these variables, the t2.micro instance type, and it's going to ask me on the, on the terminal that, so what is the instance type, please give me. Okay, so now we need to give, even though you can just pass these variables from here as well, right? So this is something we already know that how. Now you see how this particular Terraform will automatically pick up these variables from this particular file. Okay, Terraform.tfvars. Okay, so now if everything is working fine, if we do Terraform plan, everything is working fine. But what happened if you rename this one? If you rename this file, okay, or okay, for example, I'm going to rename this file. Okay, so Terraform 1.1.tfvars. Okay, so now if I can go and do the same Terraform plan, and it's not working, because by default Terraform is picking up the Terraform TFVars, so Terraform TFVars options from, okay, so Terraform TFVars options from the Terraform dot, this exactly matching with the same file name, right? It's picking up from the same file name. So that is something very important, guys. So now, okay, so now if I can give like this, and it's going to be, it's not going to work. So now, how are we going to pass our own custom files? If for example I don't have a Terraform TFVars files, so which has been available here, so I don't want to use this one. Now, how can I use something different? Okay, so now I'm going to create one more file called cloud institution.tfvars. Okay, so now I have the file called Terraform Cloud Institution.tfvars. Okay, but for this one I'm going to comment it out. Okay, I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to paste it over here. You know, so now I have a two TFR files. One is Terraform.tfvars and another one is Cloud Institution.tfvars files. Okay, so now if you can do Terraform plan here again, so it's not going to pick up the default variables because only file which is the default for the Terraform is going to be Terraform.tfvars. We have commented out this one. So now you can just ask me that how are we going to pick up some of the variables from here, so okay, now right now I'm going to uncomment this one as well, and let me check it's working fine or not. So now still it's not working because it's not picking it from here automatically, right? So now still we need to pass these variables from the command line. Okay, so how are we going to make this particular file works that will take the variables from here? Okay, so if you want to do this one, there is some more. So one of the options is called the Terraform plan, um, and -var -file equals, you can just give cloud institution dot tfvars. Okay, so what I'm telling to this particular file is that to the Terraform command is that please take the var files whatever I have defined on my own. That is kind of a custom tfvar files whatever we have defined. Okay, so now I'm going to give enter. Now see, so it is just picking up these variables from this particular location. Okay, so if you can see t2.micro, if you can go and change it to t2.nano. Okay, so if you do Terraform plan, let's see if it is picking up t2.nano. Yeah, so this is taking a t2.nano, which is the default file from here. What happens if you just comment out this, just to make sure that if this file is picking, I mean the variables are picking up this file itself, and what you have to do, and you can go and do a Terraform plan with this one. So now what will happen? It's going to ask me, right? It's going to ask me what is the default value. I mean, what is the value which has to be passed here, because we have not passed any kind of values for instance type over here. So that's the reason why it's asking me which values has to be passed. Okay. So now I just remove this one. Okay. So now I don't want to continue. Okay. So now if we do Terraform apply, we do Terraform apply. Okay. So it's going to work. Okay, so this is how, this is how you are going to be creating some kind of a custom files, custom TF4 files, and you're going to pass in those TF4 files to your configuration. Okay, so yeah, so it's just still creating, right? It'll take some time. Okay, so it's just created. So that's all about this video, right? Like, so this video is all about like what is the difference between default versus custom variable files, So thank you so much for watching, and in the next sessions we are going to see some more interesting concepts, and then stay tuned for those videos, and thank you so much.